Yeah, there we go, magic. And stealing, my 2 favorite things. Oh, and orb, 3 favorite things. And treasure, I'm gonna log that under orb adjacent, so it's still just 3 things. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here or not. Probably not. Maybe it's down that hole. When in doubt. Oh, that would have been so cool to get right. Oh well. I made a mistake. It wasn't the hole. Hole was a bad choice. Trying to use magic in the hole was a worse choice. And now we're gonna struggle. For my hubris. I don't want to hurt them when they're holding their hands up like that, but I just feel like they're gonna come after me. Hold on, is that a stick? Yeah, it's a stick. What a stick. Oh, maybe I should hold this a little different. Then I can use 2 hands. That's better stick technique. Nope, missed. The stick is not that effective. Real disappointment, that. Oh, no, too many guys again. Just believe. Okay. That's fine. I'm not abandoning the stick. That's the biggest part of the strategy here. We're good. I'm not freaking out. We'll abandon the stick.
I've been talking for like 45 minutes and none of you could hear me. Shai messed around with all of the computer stuff while I was gone this weekend.
I want to give some props. You fixed that really quickly.
Thank you.
I don't know how to fix it.
I didn't know how to fix it either. I was completely guessing.
Well, you guessed right, and that's impressive.
I'm so good at technology.
Yeah, you are. This is a business tip, by the way. If you fuck something up, you can actually just turn it into a positive thing, acknowledging someone fixing your fuck up, and then you don't talk about your fuck up anymore. That was a business tactic.
That's so smart, because it did make me feel really good. Golden Nebby keeps saying Antarctica.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Golden Nebby.
Proof.
Wait. What if they're a in Antarctica? Or better,
if you are, that would be really
penguin cool. With a laptop.
Oh my god. Wait, are you? Abby, are you a penguin?
With a laptop, you legally have to tell us.
Twinkle Master said, how would a penguin use a laptop? Use your imagination.
Yeah. Hey, I feel like maybe laptop was too hasty. Maybe it's an iPad.
I was gonna say
Something
iPad would probably
screen.
be easier because yeah, you could just kind of smack it. Yeah.
Hey, a flipper's just a big old thumb, right?
So true.
We're not so different. You and I. You being a penguin with a laptop.
Oh my god, Ebby said I use my toes. So yes, they are indeed a penguin. They use their toes.
That makes sense. Your happy little feet.
Oh my god, yeah, that's like the whole.
That's
like the whole movie. Yes,
Wait, hold on. Are you Mumble?
He danced on the laptop keys.
He danced on the laptop and makes a clickety-clack for the keys. That went much smoother than it should have. Did you see that?
No.
That was like good at games.
Oh, you're so good at games.
For just a second, it was good at game stuff. I mean, I can't really shake that good. I could do like a normal shake. Oh, by the way, this is my favorite fact about working with firefighters. They shake their butts all the time, like every 10 seconds or so, because they have sensors, motion sensors on them that start beeping really aggressively if they're not, that was cool. Moving around enough. And so in order to stop that from happening, because like guys will yell at you if you're not moving and it's just beeping. It's annoying, but very regularly you'll be having a normal face-to-face conversation and you'll be talking about normal stuff or important stuff. And then they'll just be like, without acknowledging it, they're looking at you and then just like that out of nowhere. And it's the most normal thing in the world to them. But I think it's just cute. So I don't know, talk to firefighters. Cute as hell. Oh, and the mustache thing, that's a real thing. I found out originally it was to keep tears and snot out of their mouths. So it runs it around in the old days, smoke stuff and whatever. And now it's more because it's an old school tradition and to wear the, I don't know, mask that they use. Hiya! Okay. I want a second axe. 2 axes just feels so right. Something about it. Oh, wait, no, I figured out what it is. It's every white guy's secret dream to be a Viking. That's what it is. That's why it feels so good. Crack the code.
That's a good theory. I like that.
No, that's not a theory. That's it.
Oh.
I'm so confident.
We don't need the scientific process here.
I'm not even willing to look at other
No
evidence.
hypotheses.
The axe feels good because every white guy, and this is true, you can test this at home, secretly wants to be a Viking and or pirate. Wasn't there a trend like that? Or was it ninja or pirate or something? And you could just ask a dude that with no context. Every single guy you know has an opinion on this. Yeah, what do we got? Fights. Birds over cats / dogs. Is that birds on one side and cats and dogs together on the other? Because I'm sorry to say, the birds have no chance. Birds are cool. Hey, birds are smarter by a lot than cats and dogs. Corvids in particular, hell yeah. There's that study on crows that found they were able to use office supplies. They unbent a paperclip, turned it into a hook, and then used it to fish a piece of meat out of a, I don't know, bottle or something. So yeah, no, they're great. And they're social, which is why they're better than ravens. Yes, ravens are bigger and stronger and about as smart, but crows are social, so they're better. The strength is of the many, not the one. That's why ants are some of the smartest creatures as a collective, because they're eusocial. Bees too, they're better together. Like people. Oh, and coincidentally, a part of why dogs and cats are so dominant in the wild is just because they've partnered with us. We're already doing so well that if they can build off of our existing systems, they do better. Where are these guys coming from? Good God darn. Stop it. No hand. Oh, cats, I learned something interesting about. They, most likely domesticated themselves, because as soon as humans started collecting enough resources to need like long-term food storage, grain stores and things like that, we also attracted vermin, which happened to be exactly what the cats want to eat. So the cats started hanging out around our grain stores and protecting them, and then we found out that they're social and they can form bonds with humans, contrary to popular belief. Cats do love you and care about you. They just show it a little different. Some, not all. But yeah, that's the reason that we partner so well together, is that they met that need. And then dogs, a little bit differently, were a big part of hunting. Their pack tactics are very effective. And then the companionship stuff actually most likely came as a happy little side effect. Ain't that nice? I just get excited about stuff. A lot of information is interesting, and it's actually just our education system that makes it shitty and boring. But people want to learn stuff. That's why we scroll on platforms forever and learn random stuff. People like to learn. You just have to make it not boring, which should be easier than we act like it is. But I think there's this big prevalent idea that for something to be good for you, it has to suck a little. Like if medicine tastes good, then suddenly it's not medicine? I don't know. We get these weird preconceived notions. I used to do that a lot, actually. Just assume that if it felt good, then it was bad. As if something making me happy undermines it being good for me. But it turns out a lot of mental health stuff can feel good. Maybe not initially, depending on what it is. But taking time for yourself is good and healthy and feels nice. I like yapping about positivity. Oh, the thing we were talking about earlier. I've been looking into the neuroscience of altruism and caring about people. This was something that I cared about a lot in school. I studied, the original plan was philosophy, anthropology, and a little bit of psychology to round it out. And then I ended up focusing all the way on psychology and neuroscience because it just felt better. But I did also study some anthropology, some linguistics, got a minor in philosophy, general, even though that kind of sucked. I don't like talking to people who do ethics. They just like to talk in circles forever, in my experience. You know Chidi from The Good Place? Exactly right. Spot on to a T. That's beside the point though. So yeah, I got really into that stuff and I'd come back to it every once in a while. And it's such an interesting concept, why people do good things, that it's really hard to know that it's in a vacuum. But I mean, the concept of someone doing a good thing that they will never be recognized for, that they will never get a reward from, that no one will know it was them. Why do people do stuff like that? Evolutionarily, why would they? You know, it's not actually fitness enhancing, although there is a great argument that doing good things and being recognized for it is fitness enhancing, mostly because people want to live in communities where people do stuff like that, because it's better for them and their kids and their families and stuff like that to have people around who are interested in doing good things for other people who aren't in their family. But the main thing is, why do people do things completely, purely altruistically? And I mean, the real answer is we don't know. is super interesting. We can track some commonalities with people who engage in those behaviors. I was looking at something when Nikki walked in about how researcher, I wish I could remember her name, but she was very, very good. She did a TED Talk focused on the opposite, neuroimaging of sociopaths who, I mean, generally they're normal people without the sort of mental hardware required for empathy and perspective taking and stuff like that. There is an argument to be made that they have that, but it's underdeveloped. But everything I've seen points to that being more of a narcissist thing. I say as I do brutal murder. Sorry, all of this comes down to eventually ideas of the self and how that interacts with the rest of the world. Do you see yourself as this bastion in the middle with walls around it? You have to protect the self. And then beyond that, if you can, you do things for close personal others, friends and family. And then beyond that, if there's any extra, you'll utilize resources for people you don't know. Or do you see functionally no barrier between the self and the other for the sake of being helpful, loving a stranger as you would a dear friend. And that's the stuff I find really interesting. This study, I'm gonna keep going around and around in circles, aren't I? But it was on sociopaths finding commonalities connected to this stuff like them being less likely to recognize fearful faces and expressions in body language. That was really interesting. Less activation in the amygdala to signs of other people in distress. And overall, I think it was something like 10 to 20% lesser mass in the amygdala. And then they turned it around, looked at people who could be considered altruists, not me, I guess, and noticed the opposite. They were significantly better at recognizing fearful and uncomfortable expressions in others. They had more activation in the amygdala in response to it, and more mass in general. And so the question then becomes, are people born this way? In the same way you can be born a sociopath without this hardware, or is it more like narcissists? They are born with the exact same mental hardware as everybody else, but because it's underutilized, or in this case, overutilized, there's just more ability to use those processes. I think very solidly it's the second one. There's a concept of the mental gym about how parts of the brain, which we don't understand very well, we can't even confirm what does what beyond thinking this probably does that and we haven't been proved wrong yet. But there's a lot of evidence to suggest that in the same way you can exercise a muscle to make it bigger and better at its primary task, you can make processes in the brain do the same thing. The more you engage in things like perspective taking or try to empathize with others, more neural pathways will be created and the more existing ones will be reinforced. So all of that to say, anyone can become an incredibly caring person. You just have to want to do it. And one of the biggest differences between people who exhibit these behaviors and people who don't can be predicted by the value of their family, their growing up home life, how much they value those kinds of behaviors. That's the main difference. And if you didn't grow up with that kind of background, with that kind of family that valued these things, I mean, there's nothing wrong with you. You can make the decision literally any time to try to be more aware of how other people are feeling, to put yourself in their shoes, take their perspective, stuff like that. And I would argue that you should, if you want to, but it makes us better. It lets us connect more. At the end of the day, I think the greatest strength, proved over and over again, the greatest strength of humanity is the fact that we can care about each other and work together. But yeah, that's shit I've been thinking about.
Thanks for watching, guys. And make sure you totally frickin' smash that like and subscribe button, or else I'll get a warlock to do a curse on you. Okay, thanks, love you, kisses, bye.